All right, I want to show you guys something pretty cool today. I've been working on it for about a month now, and it's my version of Russell Brunson's Prime Mover Mastermind site. Now, this site came out probably 6 months ago, maybe even as much as 12 months ago. Yeah, it's probably about 12 months ago. And ever since then, I've had people asking me, Dan, when are you going to build us a version of this site? Because most people know that I've been building membership sites in ClickFunnels 1.0 and courses in 2.0, going back all the way back into 2016. And then in 2020, during COVID, I built out what I referred to as my Membership Ninjas course, which I sold for upwards of $2,000. And shortly after that, is when, beginning of, I guess it was 21, 22, something like that. That's when I got to become a beta tester for ClickFunnels 2.0. And I also started working with a couple of my students from my Membership Ninjas course. And we built out a number of different, very high-end, very technical membership sites and courses for people in 1.0 and in 2.0. And we charged in excess sometimes of $20,000 for some of these builds. We built them for people like Eric Thane, Junior Anthony, Jonathan Montoya, and we also built the Unfair Advantage membership site in 2.0 for Russell Brunson himself. And so when I saw this course right here, and when I had enough people begging me to do it, I finally just said a few months back, I said, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to build this thing out. And now I finally have it done. So if you've never seen this before, let me just walk through it because it's pretty cool. Everybody likes the coloration. They like the images here in what is known as the tabs for the Ascension model. And it's got some pretty cool things. But also what I found as I went along is that it also had a bunch of issues. So as I built this out, I fixed all of those issues, and you'll see my version here in a minute. But I also talked to Jake Leslie, who is one of Russell's top designers, and I said, what's the deal with this site? Why is it that every page, every color, every button, everything is slightly different? And he told me the truth was that he had built the original of this thing 2 or 3 years ago, and it's been added onto and added onto and added onto. And because they never created a style guide, every single page is different. So what I did is I created a style guide and I made everything completely systematized so that when you get a hold of it, you want to grab a hold, let's say you want to grab a hold of this section right here. Mine actually, it looks correct. On here, there's a few issues. When you grab a hold of this section, you can pop it into somewhere else. But if you want to change your style guide so you're not using this gold color, but you're using a red color instead, you just go into the style guide, click, you change that, and boom, on your page then going forward, everywhere that is gold will suddenly become red. So using the style guide, I found, and I would never build a course again without having a style guide. But like I said, in case you've never seen this before, we'll just click around here a little bit. You have your standard sidebar here, but what they did is they pulled out the heading for each one of these sections and put it up here in print. Now, they did it manually. I did it automated in the code so that you never have to think about this. This word just appears there if you want it turned on that way. If you want to turn that off, you can turn that off as well. They put these images in here. Again, this takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of code, but I give you all of the code, all the knowledge that you need in order to be able to do this. So we'll just click on here. We'll go to Alchemy. You see every one of these pages is slightly different. Let's go back to Linchpin right now. So we have this here. Now, another thing that they did is they built in faux, these aren't real, these are completely hand-coded with headlines and everything else. They built in what appears to be an additional sidebar. I said, well, I don't want people to have to think about that. I don't want to have people have to do all that extra work. So I devised a way where you can actually take a for real sidebar and just drop it in here and it will style it, and it will make it look exactly like this. So you don't have to think about it. You just have to make sure you have like one setting turned on, and it will do it for you. So this is what Russell has, and so let me show you my version of this. But before we jump onto this page here, I want to let you know that there's actually a site homepage for prime movers, and I didn't pull Russell's version up, but I built my own version of it. And here is the site homepage for prime movers right there. So you're going to get a copy of that. Then I also built out a customer center, because the customer center for the prime movers really does not match at all. And I wanted to create a matching one that had the same style and everything else. So you could just grab a hold of this for your customer center and, again, modify a few things, put in a few more lessons. It's showing 3 across here on courses because that's how many courses I have in there. And, oh, by the way, that's actually how many courses you're going to get. Because as I built out the course, so here's the course right here. And so as I was building this out, I said to myself, well, why wouldn't I also give them this course framework? Because this is different than my framework for how I copied Russell's or cloned Russell's or mimicked it, or actually in many ways improved it. So here's the version I built of Russell's. Then here is my course that teaches you how to do all of this. And so I thought, well, I should probably give them a copy of that as well, along with all the instructions on how to build it. And then I also have another course that you're going to be getting. It's a course I did, again, back in like 2020, 2021. You see my COVID beard right there in the image. And I got this course in here as well because I said, well, I did some other cool things in here. Maybe I should also give them this course here, like the sidebar that opens like this and that kind of stuff. And we can go to the homepage. Actually, the homepage here brings you to the dev tools right there, which again is a different functionality than was built into Russell's or was built into the framework I created here as well. So what you get in total is you get this framework. You get this exact course handed to you, exactly how I built it in here with all the pages, all the everything, all the improvements that I made. So let's just walk through this real quick. So we got our 3 things here, just like Russell had on his home page. Let's just go here. And so you can go into any one of those. These are all clickable links, of course. They don't go anywhere because I didn't have anywhere to really send them to, but you get the idea. This is about giving you the design. You got to put in the links. You got to change out your images, that kind of stuff. But if we click here now and go to Fountainhead, this here is a completely different template, and I left this open here on the left-hand side. So the ones for the framework here start off with PMFW. So we went from the course homepage down here to the Fountainhead page. So that's 2 different templates right there that I give you. I did the same thing for the linchpin and also then for alchemy, completely building out that design for you. And you see them over here. But then as we get into the training, so let's just go back to Fountainhead. We come in here and I click on pre-training. Well, this is a different template, and that's the one right here where it says 2LM, so that's the second level module. The other 3 here before that were our first level module, and this is our pre-training page right here. So this is another template, and what I did is as I went through and I hacked Russell's, I found the things that I said, okay, on this page, this is the stuff I like. Like here, I don't really like that. It's just a collection. It's no big deal. But if we come to the attractive character page, there really wasn't much on here, even though I did clone a bit of that. Let's come down here to our future-based cause. Again, not a whole lot there. That was interesting. Let's come down here to our core training. This is where we get into more interesting stuff with lots of boxes, lots of things. Again, I fixed this so that these 2 are the same height. And then we get into our self-guided here, more stuff that was built in there. So I went through virtually every single page in here grabbed examples of everything, and like I said, is I systematized it or used the style guide to make every button the same. Of course, you get 3 different buttons inside a ClickFunnels. So I gave you 3 different button types. I gave you 3 different borders. I gave you 3 different corners, all that stuff that you can build because you are using the style guide. So back over here for mine, we can come in here and we just keep clicking on stuff. And so we'll go to the future-based cause. And so here we scroll down and we see different examples. So in one place here, I had a row that looked like this. Then I found another row that looked like this, and another one looked like this, and you get the idea as you go down here. And then what I did is I just took all the lesson examples and I put them together into 4 lessons right here. If you come through, you're going to see I put the entire page structure in here, but I did not give every single one of the lessons everything. I said, okay, I'm just going to put them all together so you don't have to be hunting around for them. They're just all going to be in here. So we got the example for lesson 1, the example for lesson 2 right here, or example lesson 2. And again, each one is a slightly different format. So you come in here, you decide, okay, I really like this one. And you, again, because you're going to get the entirety of the 3 different courses, you can come in here and you just pick out the bits that you want and then you put them into your site. So here's our lesson number 3, and now we're going to have our lesson number 4 here. Everyone is slightly different with slightly different sections. So you pick out the ones you like and then you put them into your page. And so this is the framework itself. Here is the training on how to build out the frameworks, how I built this out, how I hacked the page, and all that. And there's a bunch of bonuses that still need to come in here because that's where the training on how to build this page is going to go in, and also how to build some of the other stuff, because each one of these sidebars is built differently. So in this version here, I kept this as close to Russell's as I possibly could. I think I got this font off a little bit now as I'm looking at the font on there. But again, you're going to change it as you go along. And so I wanted to make this one just like Russell's. But then with this one here, I just wanted the 3 main top-level modules across the top. And then also on the home page, I put in here 3 different sidebars. So I show you exactly how you can put in these different sidebars right in the middle of the page. And then on this one here, again, I use the Ascension model on all these, and I show you how to get these images in there and how to link them up properly and all that in the training. But in here, we just click on the home page. What you're going to see is I put some animations in the sidebars. So if you want to open and close the sidebars right here, you could just do it like that. You got the little rotating icon. I just prefer to do it that way. I think it looks a lot better. Also, other things I put in there is, hovering and stuff like that. But also, if you click on this link right there, it will actually colorize itself as if it's now the live lesson itself before the page ever loads. So somebody can tell they clicked on it, they know they're going to that page. Up here, this does not open a module. Frankly, I don't like using modules, like hardly ever. I'll use them a little bit, but most of the time I don't. I don't need that to open up like Russell had here. Let's go to our Fountainhead and let's go to our pre-training just to have this open like this. I think it's a waste of time for your student to have to end up on this page. So I just tend to remove them completely as I'm building stuff out. I did not necessarily do that here, but in this case, I put in actual content onto this page. And again, you'll receive all the templates over here showing exactly how to do everything. We got universal headers, we got universal sidebars, universal footers on here. And again, I walk through exactly how to use all that, the universal breadcrumbs here as well. So all told, what are you going to get today? You're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 different template pages in here, along with all of the 4 lesson pages that I had in here as well, all with templates on it. You're going to get the style guide that is going to it's going to make it so easy. If you've not used a style guide before in ClickFunnels 2.0, it makes it so easy to be able to just click on stuff and easily change the colors, easily put in a button, anything you want. You're going to get that. You're going to get these 3 courses right here. Let me just show them to you right here. You're going to get the framework itself, where I show you exactly a live model of how it was built, and this is actually live right in the customer center. So this page is live in the customer center, so you can come in here and you can look at the live page right here, while also at the same time you have the framework with all the templates, all the pages, all the everything built right into it. And the same thing with the funnel code training right here. Here's the live page right in the customer center, but also you get the entirety of the course in here as well. Same thing with the course build. You get the entirety of the course build, all the pages, all the everything, all the code, along with right here where you have the training itself. So not only do you get the template to be able to use, to clone, to build your own stuff, I also give you the full working examples of it, so you can look at the 2 of them and say, oh, okay, now I see how this works, before you go and start, moving blocks around and doing all of that. So you get all of this stuff here. You get the custom customer center page. You get the custom site home page. And like I said earlier, builds like this, we have sold for $20,000+ for elaborate builds like this. And of course, I'm not going to charge you $20,000 for this, even though it did seriously take me like at least 4 weeks to go through and build out all of this stuff. And I'm not going to charge you the $2,000 that I charged for Membership Ninjas back 5 years ago, even though with inflation, that should be like $3,000 or $4,000 by this point. Not going to do that. I'm not even going to charge you $1,000. It's just $497, and you get everything that I've just been showing you here for the last 5 or 10 minutes or so. Plus, you're going to get a 60-minute call with me, a 1-hour call, to be able to go through and ask any questions you want and help you get this all set up. Plus, on top of that, not only do you get the template for the dev tool training, which was right here, you also get all the training itself. So this was a course I built, like I said, a couple of years ago. It's very in-depth on how to write code inside of ClickFunnels 1.0 and 2.0, how to inspect the code, how to use the developer tools, and also how to clone and migrate sites, how to inspect sites. So if you're on another site somewhere and you go, how'd they do that? In here in the training, I show a lot of examples of how you do that. How do you go in there and how do you figure out what it was exactly that made this thing to work the way it's working? And on top of that, of course, I also have a community. Right now I'm using a Facebook group. I may move over to school at some point, but right now we got the Facebook group. You can go in there anytime and ask questions. Plus, I also do a weekly call. It's currently on Wednesdays, where you can jump on there as well and ask me any questions, not only about this build, but about anything in general regarding ClickFunnels, funnel building, marketing, anything like that. So again, in recap, you get, not only do you get the framework, but you get the entirety of the course teaching you how to build the framework, along with the framework for the course building page, and as well as the dev tool training and the course for this as well. So you get all of the code for 3 different courses, plus you get the 3 courses, and you also get an hour of my time. You get the weekly calls. You get the group where you can ask questions anytime you want. And like I said, it's not $20,000. It's not $2,000. It's only $497. But I will also tell you this. This offer is not going to stay around forever, because following on to this, I'm going to build a much bigger course that I am going to sell for $2,000. That is going to be much more high-end, and it's really going to be focused on how to use membership sites like this, courses like this, to actually sell. to actually be able to get people in to these courses and then ascend them to higher and higher levels. That's exactly what we did, 2-3 years ago now for Eric Thane. We built him a course, and I forget what the numbers were, but it was astronomical. It was like 10 times the amount of people ascended up to their higher level coaching because of the fact that we built the site for him to be able to help him do that. So that's what I have here for you today. Basically, 3 courses, all these different pages, all the different training, $497. So if you got any questions, just let me know.